dear audience. Today is June 16th, 2025. This is the latest financial news at Finance Today MX with our top story today. Foreigners distance themselves from Mexican stock markets and bonds in May. Stories of the day. Grupo Mexico sells majority stake in highway business for $400 million. Industrial conglomerate Grupo Mexico announced an agreement to sell a majority stake in its highway business for 7.7 billion pesos, $400 million. A transaction that comes the same week it announced its intention to delist its rail business. Iran responds to Israeli ballistic missile attack and markets fall. Iran launched ballistic missile attacks toward Israel on Friday night in the Middle East in retaliation for Israeli airstrikes, which Tehran says amount to a declaration of war. Alsea seeks to simplify portfolio and replicate Domino's and Starbucks' success at Chipotle. Alsea, the largest restaurant and coffee shop operator in Latin America, plans to simplify its portfolio so some brands could be removed from its portfolio. Instead, the administration is seeking to boost those with the greatest potential, including Chipotle Mexican Grill, with which it recently signed a development agreement. Oil prices record their highest rise in 3 years after Israel's attack on Iran. Oil prices recorded their highest daily rise in more than 3 years on Friday, after an Israeli airstrike against Iran rekindled fears of a military escalation in the Middle East that would affect oil and gas supplies, as well as regional maritime traffic. Foreigners distanced themselves from Mexican stock markets and bonds in May. Financial markets in Mexico saw outflows of foreign capital in May, amid the recovery of the New York stock market and amid easing trade tensions between the United States and some of its major trading partners.
In other news, Israel attacks nuclear targets in Iran, casualties reported and retaliation expected. Israel launched preemptive airstrikes against nuclear facilities in Iran, claiming the Iranian government is secretly developing a nuclear weapons program, according to various reports and a statement by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Businesses see tariffs as an obstacle to Mexico's economy. External conditions resulting from changes in U.S. trade policies, which include tariffs on auto, steel, and aluminum exports from around the world, represent one of the main obstacles to Mexico's economic growth this year, said business executives consulted by the Bank of Mexico. Trump revives threat of reciprocal tariffs on trading partners. U.S. President Donald Trump said that in the coming weeks he will begin sending letters to the countries with which he is negotiating to inform them of the new terms of the trade relationship. He emphasized a unilateral tone in his proposal for other nations to accept or abandon his proposal and face the tariffs, following his Liberation Day announcement. Eurozone says industrial production falls 2.4% in April, its biggest drop in 21 months. Eurozone industrial production contracted 2.4% monthly in April, affected by uncertainty surrounding tariffs imposed by the United States government, according to data from the European Union Statistics Office, Eurostat. Sheinbaum prepares for first meeting with Trump at G7 summit. Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, said she is preparing for her first meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump within the framework of the Group of Seven (G7) summit, which will take place starting June 16 in Canada.
Business. U.S. asks Mexico to review labor conditions at Tenaris TAMSA plant in Veracruz. The United States government has asked Mexico to review working conditions at the Tubos de Acero de Mexico plant in Veracruz, through the Rapid Labor Response Mechanism of the North American Trade Agreement, USMCA, due to the alleged denial of rights to freedom of association and collective bargaining. Meta Platforms invests in Scale AI, valuing it at over $29 billion. Meta Platforms, Meta, has made a significant investment in Scale AI, valuing the company at over $29 billion and expanding its business partnership, Scale AI announced Thursday night. Delta Airlines suspends flights to Tel Aviv, Israel. Delta Airlines, DAL, has suspended flights between Tel Aviv, Israel, and New York until August 31 due to the recent military conflict between Israel and Iran, according to a notice updated Friday on its website. Deutsche Telekom and NVIDIA to build AI-powered cloud for businesses. German telecommunications company Deutsche Telekom and US chip and microprocessor manufacturer Nvidia have agreed to work together to build the first industrial artificial intelligence cloud for European manufacturers in Germany. Alphabet's Google tests new AI-powered feature that generates audio summaries for queries. Alphabet's Google, GOOG/GOOGL, announced on Friday the launch of Audio Overviews, which generates conversational audio for certain searches, giving users a way to access information without manual intervention. Thanks for listening. If you have found this information useful, please help us by subscribing to the channel as well as share, comment, and click on the bell so you get the latest and greatest financial news every day. Sincerely, thank you. Have a good one.